mic check, please.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ducks Unlimited podcast.
I'm your host, Dr. Mike Brazier.
I'm your host, Katie Burke.
I'm your host, Dr. Jerad Henson.
And I'm your host, Matt Harrison.
Welcome to the Ducks Unlimited podcast, the only podcast about all things waterfowl. From hunting insights to science-based discussions about ducks, geese, and issues affecting waterfowl and wetlands conservation in North America. The DU Podcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan, the official performance dog food of Ducks Unlimited. Purina Pro Plan, always advancing. Also proudly sponsored by Bird Dog Whiskey and Cocktails. Whether you're winding down with your best friend or celebrating with your favorite crew, Bird Dog brings award-winning flavor to every moment. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ducks Unlimited podcast. I'm Dr. Jerad Henson. I'm your host today. We've got a great episode for you. Weather's cooling off. It's football season. It's hunting season. We got a lot of time now spent at duck camp, and we want to take today to really talk about some awesome approachable recipes. And so to do that, I've got a co-host with me. I've got Mr. John Gordon.
Thanks, Jerad. Just got back from North Dakota off the road for DUTV. Man, great to be here. The hunting season's already going up there. Soon to be here. We got a really special guest today, with us, is going to really show us how to cook some easy, simple recipes.
And I'm excited about that. We have Craig Verhage with Royal Oak, AKA the BBQ Ninja.
Man, appreciate the intro and really appreciate the invite here. I tell you guys, coming to the grounds of Ducks Unlimited is a bucket list of mine. And really to come here and to share my passion of barbecue and hunting and cooking at the hunting camp and sharing fellowship with the family and easy recipes, very approachable recipes, because I tell you, it doesn't have to be that hard.
No.
These days, there's very affordable options at the grocery store, and having duck as the primary protein, which is really, I say, is really like steak. Yeah. And to use that and to substitute that into easy recipes, I'm looking forward to getting this on.
I think it's gonna be great. Well, we've got the smoke already rolling, and y'all stay tuned and see what's in store.
One of the great things about lump charcoal is you don't have to pre-burn it. You can add it along the way. It's all natural, so perfect for that.
Craig, one of the recipes I'm most excited about you doing today is a taco. Man, it's one of the easiest ways and most versatile ways to make anything delicious, so I'm excited about it. Go ahead and take us into what you got going.
Yeah, I tell you, it's like you said, man, you can taco almost anything. You just have to have the basic ingredients, and I do this green sauce, which you'll be able to get the ingredients in the link below, and I do a fresh slaw and of course the protein, and when you put those together,
simple, easy,
right,
and amazing. That's the important part.
Other than, it's a little involved getting that sauce right, but I'm gonna tell you, once you get that sauce right, it's good on a shoot.
I was about to say, it looks really versatile, so that's a pretty cool thing to do.
Right. And like I said, the slaw, it's basically just two ingredients. It's lime, it's pineapple to have that little bit of sweet in there that kind of cuts down on a little bit of the heat. And then that duck comes in there, and that's that protein that hits, and it marries up great.
I'm ready for it, so let's jump into it.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be quick. It's going to be easy. I'm going to dump one bag of slaw. I'm going to use the juice of 3 limes. And the main thing is do this right before. Yeah. You
don't want soggy slaw.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that happens, and it's going to happen if you do it too far ahead of time. And I tell you, it's just these flavors really marry up together good, because you got the acid of the lime, you've got the sweet of the pineapple, and then in this sauce is just fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it hits a lot of notes on the tongue. That's the lime. We're going to use about half a can of this pineapple.
And that's just crushed pineapple.
That's just crushed pineapple. And I like it to be simple, but I also like for it to keep that crunch, keep that texture. Because, a lot of food is texture.
Right.
That's
an important thing with a taco. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of times, people, they like something because of texture or they don't like it because of texture.
That's right.
They might like flavor.
My kids especially.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So really, and I tell you, let's just put a touch of this in here. You know why? Because it's good.
Because you can.
Because you can, and it's good. There you go.
Sauce made up.
That's the slaw. And then, after this, we're going to go to the grill. We're going to grill up the duck, and then we're going to come back and we're going to build the final product, which is that taco you're going to eat.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Jerad, one last thing we got to do before we go to the grill and sear off these duck breasts. As you can see, these are some good, awesome teal breasts that were killed in early season. And I'm going to put a light coat of some Twisted Oliver all-purpose rub.
I was going to ask, what's your favorite? What's your go-to rub on here? Just an AP type rub, an all-purpose rub?
This
kind
is
of salt, pepper, garlicky type?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it is, and it puts a great flavor on there. As far as, I love garlic. Of course, if you don't like garlic, you got to kind of wonder about a person that don't like garlic.
It goes well. That plays well with duck.
It does.
Because it's a red meat. So.
And the other one I like to use, it's called Fade to Black by LC Barbecue out of Texas, and this is a charcoal activated rub.
That's cool.
So it's a black rub, but it just explodes with flavor. And this is what I use on steaks, like you said, the red meat. It's there. It's what it's for.
Okay.
So we'll do a little bit of a layer of this, and then we'll hit the grill.
That sounds good. I'm ready to hear sizzles.
Look at that, man.
It's looking pretty. Everything's seasoning's starting to stick on there. Like, it's time to go. I'm looking forward to this. What are you looking to try and do, like cooking wise? You're looking for a medium on the inside, or
looking for a medium rare? Medium rare. We're gonna hit these things just, man, a minute, 2 minutes on each side. Just kind of watch it, get that good sizzle, get that good char. Turn it one time, another minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's done.
Be done.
All right. All right. Here we go. Oh, you see that sizzle?
It's doing it.
And when you cook these to the point where you start to see, some of the juices coming out of the top, it's starting to
see that color come up from the bottom a little bit too. Yeah.
That's when you know.
That's when you know. Big thing is just don't overcook duck.
That is it. Yeah.
Everybody talks about, duck's gamey, duck's strong. That's because you probably overcooked it.
Right. And it goes back to, duck is a migrating bird. It's not like a chicken or a turkey that is farm raised that don't fly. Right. That's where your white meat in the breast comes, because they don't fly. They got no blood pumping through the breast.
Yep.
A migrating bird like a duck, a dove, a goose, it's going to be red meat. You're going to cook it to what you would a steak, not 165 plus like you would a white meat chicken or turkey.
And that's something that I'm kind of a nerd, but yeah, it's that red meat's that myoglobin in there, and what it does, it's got a lot of iron, and so if you cook that iron, same thing you'd have with blood, right? It's going to make gamey flavor,
right?
And so being careful with that, not overcooking it is important.
And you're a doctor, so you can say myoglobin.
I can. I spent a while in the classroom. I can talk about that stuff.
I'm not educated enough to say that word, much less pronounce it right, much less spell it. So, all right, we're turning these. I mean, look at the color. You see the dark in the rub. That's that charcoal rub, but also, the sear that these things are getting.
You can smell that starting to really kick on, too.
Oh, yeah. I think it's time to get these dudes off. What do you think?
I think so. They're smelling good. Are you going to let them rest for a little bit?
Yeah, we'll let them rest. Like you would a steak. I mean, we keep talking about how these is red meat, just like steak. 5 minutes, let them rest.
Let them rest. Let those juices kind of respread back out.
Let's get these to the table and let's get you eating tacos.
Get them cut up. Yep, sounds good.
Hey, we're here to the prep of the tacos. We've got the slaw done. We've got the green sauce done. We've got the duck done. We've got the taco shells done.
Threw them on the grill real quick, toasted them up. You always want to warm your tortillas a little bit, no matter if it's corn or a flour tortilla.
That's it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice this duck real thin.
Still got a nice pink on the inside. That's what you're going for.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's one of those that, let's say it again, don't overcook your duck. So we're going to go, that's going to be one taco.
And you said these are some teal breasts, so these are small. If you did a mallard or something like that, you'd make a lot more tacos with a mallard breast.
Definitely. For a mallard breast, you could probably make all 4 of these tacos.
Yeah.
But I tell you, you go back to the spice and the grill flavor of this duck breast, to the sweet and the acidity in the slaw, to the guacamole, jalapeno, little bit of spice in this green sauce. And I tell you, man, it all comes together.
All comes together, and you got a little bit of tahini here too.
Yeah, we're gonna put a little bit of that tahini at the very end.
Top it off.
And I tell you, I can't wait for you to take that bite, because it will be an absolute flavor explosion. So, yeah, here we are. And a lot of that texture too in that slaw has a lot to do with it. Little green sauce.
Green sauce. Mr. John Gordon has impeccable timing. He had to run away, but he's going to fly back in now because he timed it just right.
The food is
just in time, guys. I had to put out some fires for the new women's outdoor shoes DU Ascend on YouTube. Be sure to check that out. So I'm back, and Craig, I can't wait for this taco, man. This is going to be unbelievable.
There you go. There's a napkin if you need it.
I'm going to make a mess probably.
Hey, that's why we're out here and we're over grass and
cheers.
Cheers, guys. Here we go. Duck tacos coming at you. Right.
The green sauce is amazing with that duck. Got a little heat in it. Really good. Like you're talking texture from the slaw. That comes together perfectly.
And then that protein of that duck rolls right in there.
All balanced.
It's a perfect bite.
Perfect bite.
It's amazing. Well, Craig, you've got another recipe up for us here. This one's a little different spin. We went real classic kind of with taco and something easy on the grill. On this one, we're using the grill for this, but you don't have to have a grill for this recipe. So take us through what this next recipe is. And
Correct.
It's easy.
Yeah, it is easy. I mean, what I did was I got, one of the box spaghettis, rice-a-roni, pasta-roni, actually what they call it. And you can get all kinds of different flavors. It takes all of about 15 minutes to cook the pasta, get it ready to go. And now with the duck, I'm going to hammer it flat, and then I'm going to egg wash, panko, then we're going to get a little bit of olive oil in the iron skillet, put it over the coals, get it hot.
A little shallow fry on it.
A little shallow fry on it. We're going to lay it over the pasta, put a little bit of Parmesan over the top of that. Now, when you look at this, there's all kinds of different
ways you can do it.
Ways you can do it. Now, you walk down the aisle with the pasta, and there's all kinds of sauces, just like you walk down, and there's all kinds of gravies and things like that, but they're pre-made already.
Right.
All you do is warm it up, put it over the top, and you got, Alfredo, duck Alfredo. So just...
You can take this and put a different spin on it in all kinds of different ways.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it too going, man, you could almost do like a duck parmesan type thing as well.
Exactly.
With a little red sauce marinara over it. Yeah, it'd be pretty good too.
Duck is so versatile, and you can do that. Just go to the grocery store, walk down the aisle, see what you can do with it, know that it's a red protein, and have fun.
Yeah. Oh, this one's going to be a good one.
All right. So next we're going to do is we're going to pound out this duck. Now, the pounding process, what it does is it breaks that fiber up in the duck and it makes it tender.
And it's easiest to do this in a Ziploc. Otherwise, you're going to make a big mess.
You will. And I do this with duck, but, you also with chicken, with pork, and, different things that like to pound flat and break those fibers up in there. You
can do it with deer as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. We'll egg wash this.
And you got one of the seasoned panko mixes.
I did.
Here, so.
Right.
So it makes it easier to travel. If you're cooking at duck camp, this is a great way to minimize all the ingredients you need. So I really like that side of it. So.
And the thing about it is breadcrumbs is just like the pasta. It's just like rice. It's
whatever spin on
seasoning.
It you want.
Yeah, you can do different things, but
so you're going twice in here. You're double.
I'm gonna double up on it. and it's ready to go.
We're going
And
to
you
get that
can
thing
see-
in the grease.
And you can see, yeah, it's double pankoed. We'll get the olive oil over on the grill ready to go, and then a quick sear on each side, and it'll be ready to go.
And we're going to a shallow fry now, right?
That is. We've got the iron skillet over the coals, and you got a little bit of olive oil in there. But you know, this is something that you can have already in the pantry at hunting camp. You can already have some noodles in there. You got butter, you got garlic. Sometimes you don't have to use panko. You can just use flour.
Yep.
So very versatile. And but now this grease is ready. We're gonna go in the skillet. Oh yeah. We'll get it browned up real good on each side. I like to, kind of do it quick, just like that's the theme of cooking duck. Cook
Right.
it quick.
You're either doing it real quick or you're going to cook it to death, one of the two.
Right, and that's when that gamey part comes
Right,
in,
yep.
which we're going to avoid that. We've been on here about 5 minutes now, and I took a little bit of a peek. And that other side is
It's
golden
looking right.
brown.
It is.
You
It
did
is.
too.
It's looking right. I can
felt
also see it starting to creep, that color change starting to creep
Yeah.
on the edge.
Look at that golden brown.
Amazing.
That's what
And
you
this side won't take quite as long probably either.
No,
So.
3 to 4 minutes.
And you got the pasta out. We had pre-made the pastaroni that you'd already made.
Sure.
It's a great way to just heat it up.
Heat that up. This is getting close. You can already see how it's starting to lift a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't go too much longer on that at all. Another minute.
You got a really nice even heat
Yeah.
right now too, which I've noticed with the cook today. Like it's not super hot, but it's hot enough to get it done quick. I've been impressed with that fire management.
Well, after doing it for 30 plus years,
I
I figured out a couple of
We
things.
got a pro.
But this and, iron skillet, anytime you're cooking, over coals and
Even it out.
It evens it out and does a really good job. But I'll tell you what, Jared, this looks beautiful. Let's take this to the table and let's get it plated up and have a bite or 2 or 10 or 20. How about that?
Or all of it. Yeah. It smells
All right,
amazing. So
let's
let's
go.
move. Yeah. All right, Craig. We got this fried up duck. You've shallow pan fried that thing up in panko. We've got our pasta ready. Let's pull this thing together.
I tell you, I'm excited about this one. That duck turned out absolutely fantastic, browned up. So what we're going to do is here, Jared and John, we're going
Thanks,
to make a little bed of this pasta.
And that's a garlic and parm pasta. Is that what you?
It's a garlic and olive oil.
Garlic and olive oil.
The panko is Parmesan panko,
Okay.
and we're going to actually add a little bit more Parmesan at the end with this. It's a 5 cheese Italian style, so
Yeah.
it's definitely some different stuff. So here we go, right over the top. We'll add a little bit of this.
Slice this up. Give it a try. I am gonna grab.
Get a couple forks here, Jared.
All right, guys.
Cheers.
Here's
Cheers
the
again.
duck and pasta. A lot of trouble over there. A lot of trouble. That's blooper reel material, right?
Well, a little too much.
I tell you what, that's fantastic.
It comes together really well since you pounded it out. It's really tender bite. Got that crunch on that panko. Goes well with the pasta. Like
Yeah,
that one's I'm gonna be cooking that for my kids because they're gonna crush that. So.
That's a great bite. I mean, like you said, the texture of the crunch of that panko on the outside and the softness of the pasta, and then you got garlic in there. I mean,
And people think about ducks a lot of times being a tougher texture of meat. I mean, that's just like butter right there.
No, it's fantastic.
that was it. I tell you, the next recipe we're going to do is a spin off of a Southern classic of shrimp and grits, but we're going to do a duck and grits. And I've heard around that you're kind of fond of a grit. What all do you do?
I do like grits. I like them a lot, and we use them really versatile around our house, and where you would use like mashed potatoes or something like that in our dinners. So we'll do a cheese grits. My kids love them, which is awesome. So anything that you've got any kind of protein with a little bit of like a gravy type thing, man, they're good.
Awesome. Well, this is very simple. Again, that's been the whole point of what we're doing is easy. Economical, and something that if you're just around hunting camp, you can look in the cabinet and you got grits.
You can probably pull this stuff out.
Then you can do this. And that's one thing we have here. We just have some instant grits. Half a cup
Yep.
of water, warm water, to a pack.
We use the same thing when I cook. It's so easy.
Yeah, and then the duck breast, we're gonna spice it up with a little bit of Bayou Blend by Killer
Little Malcolm
Hog,
stuff.
Little Malcolm Reed there, and this gives that Cajun kick, that little bit of flair, that little bit of heat in there, and we're gonna spice it up with that. Gonna hit it with both sides, and these are teal breasts. Teal are just good. They really are. They're small. They cook fast. They're versatile, and
you gotta be careful not to overcook them.
Yeah, exactly. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna top it off with some bacon. And bacon.
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 I would say you could use leftover bacon from breakfast or something, but there's no such thing as leftover bacon.
Right. As a matter of fact,
breakfast,
this bacon right here, I cooked this morning, and I had to hide it from my wife because I would not have had it to bake.
I would have had to hide it from myself.
Well,
but you can get like the little packets of pre-cooked bacon. That works well for this type of stuff.
You can. Exactly. And then after we get done, at the very end, you'll see I'll top it off with a little Parmesan cheese.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a garlic butter or anything like that to put over the top. Green onion, a lot of ways you can go with it.
I really like when I do my shrimp and grits. One of the things that I love to do, or just with any kind of duck, I like to bring some sage into that too. A little sage in there. Like sage plays well with duck.
Noted. I'll have to work on that. Hey, let's get this duck going. Let's get to the grill and fire it up.
You got these duck breasts seasoned up. So what's our plan here?
Another quick sear on the grill, going medium rare. We'll use a little bit of Bayou Blend, Killer Hogs on here. And other than that, we're going to go with just a traditional shrimp and grits kind of flavors, have some garlic in there, have some bacon in there. And there's other ways you can go with it with butter, green onion, different things like that. But we're just going to hit this with a quick sear. And there again, don't overcook your duck.
We're going to say that a lot on here, and that's the golden rule.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is.
And I think most people know that now, but no.
More 125, 130.
Yeah. If you're pinning, that 125, 130, don't go over 135.
Right.
That's kind of my go-to. So.
And know it's going to carry over a little bit.
It will.
So,
right.
That 120, 125, stick in that range because it will run over, somewhere from 4 to 5 degrees after you take it off too. So be careful there.
If you want a little more forgiveness in that, I do this a lot. I'll brine my ducks. It gives them a little bit more forgiveness on that doneness and not drying them out too much, things like that.
Right.
It is an extra step. I generally do it overnight. And so it's not necessary, but it's something you can do to give yourself a little more forgiveness cooking duck.
Well, you speak of that, and it makes me think of when I put duck up in the freezer. After I clean them, I like to soak my duck for 4 to 6 days in salt water.
Okay.
And I usually change it out every other day. So, and I do this with all of my wild game, but when I take that duck out and I thaw it out, I want to have it grill ready.
Right.
I want it to be.
You want it to go quick.
Yeah. Same thing with deer. Same thing.
But you've already got a little bit of that brined effect by doing that.
That was what made me think of that part. But even alligator, I hunt alligator. I like to clean. I like to get the fat off. I like to get the tendons out.
Right.
I like to get everything done. So when it goes time to cook, it gets thawed out. It gets seasoned. It goes to grill. It's ready. I don't have to do a lot of prep work beforehand.
Right.
Jerad, the coals got a little ashed over. They were getting a little bit of cool. So what I want to do is hurry these things up. So tell everybody what we got going on here.
So we went caveman style. You went straight. You pulled them off the grates just to kind of finish so we could speed that heat up and that cook. And you went directly on the coals.
Directly on the coals.
On that.
That's fantastic. And using that all natural lump charcoal, you don't have any binders, any fillers, or anything in there to worry about on the meat. It's just all natural.
And most of that charcoal is going to come off when you pull it up.
Right.
Too,
let's go make some
I'm ready.
duck and grits.
That's it.
All right, let's go. And then the grits are just simple. I mean, they're instant grits. I did an original, and you saw what was the other I did?
It was a country bacon blend.
Country bacon blend.
Kind of pull some bacon theme through that.
Yeah, exactly. So. And I'm gonna finish it off. I'm gonna cut it up thin, put it in the grits, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of the all-purpose garlic, the twisted Oliver over it, a little bit more of the Bayou Blend over it, and then finish it with a little bit of Parmesan. Slicing it thin. You can see the red in there. Still medium rare. This is cooked bacon. We're going to sprinkle a little cooked bacon in there, crumbled up, and you know it's all going in there. I mean, it's everybody in the pool. Then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of this all-purpose garlic, a little more of the Bayou blend, killer hogs. That'll get a little spice to it. Then we're going to finish it off with a little of this 5 cheese blend, and that'll give it a little bit
Cheese
of pop.
and grits up a little bit.
Yeah, cheese and grits. I mean, you know, it's kind of like peanut and butter. It goes together.
It does.
We're going to have a little sample
Give us a
of
try.
this. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Here's to some duck and grits, ninja style.
Easy. It works so well together. It's phenomenal. Like, kind of want to take that as a snack out in the duck blind.
I mean, really. I mean, on the deer
Can
stand,
we just package it like that and I carry it with me with a spoon?
at the tailgate,
Yeah.
wherever you want to go.
I mean,
Put it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in your pocket with a spoon, and you can just pull it out.
you're good.
and Snack on a little bit here and there.
So easy, it's delicious. Well, gentlemen, this has been a lot of fun. The food was amazing. Those tacos were fire. The grits were amazing. And you throw that in there with some of that duck and pasta. All that was awesome. We're going to wrap up this outdoor part. I think we're going to all jump over into the podcast studio and do a little bit of a quick discussion kind of on how you could take these up a notch or manipulate them a little bit and just kind of tips and advice on how to actually pull this off at duck camp. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the cooking part outdoors. We've had fantastic weather. So we'll see y'all in the podcast studio. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're back in the studio now. We just wrapped up a great cooking episode. Got back in the studio with me. I've got John Gordon, co-host over here for today.
Great to be here again, Jerad. I mean, it was fantastic. You know, Craig, his talent with creating really simple and great tasting duck dishes is really outstanding.
That's it. And Craig, we're so glad. So we got Craig Verhage again, BBQ Ninja from Royal Oak. Again, really glad to have you in here to really talk about some really easy but delicious duck dishes you can do at duck camp, your backyard, wherever. So, Craig, so glad you were here for this.
You know, it doesn't have to be hard.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things. And my cooking philosophy is when you put good, I use kind of a different word, but when you put good stuff with good stuff, you get good stuff.
Right.
And there again, like I said, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. There's so many things in the store these days that are pre-made or just, you just add one ingredient or two ingredients and
that's it.
You know, there it is. And you know, duck being as versatile as it is, you know, red meat, it can go into a lot of different dishes.
That's it. And so we're going to kind of go dish by dish through some of these, just kind of talking again. And I'm going to start with the star of the show for me because that duck taco was phenomenal. It was pretty simple. That slaw, though, like I've never had a slaw made like that, and it was perfect. Add that perfect texture to it, and then that green sauce.
Man, that green sauce is unbelievable. You know, we were you know, down in Texas filming DU Nation back in during teal season and on Spread Oaks Ranch, and you know, that's where Craig made that green sauce from start to finish. So, you know, when that episode comes out, everybody will see how to make it. But it sets that taco off, and we did it with alligator, so you can really use it with anything.
Yeah. No. And it's one of those things too that as I go out, because I mean my job is I travel a nation, and you know I do marketing for Royal Oak Charcoal, and I get to see all these different people from different areas of the nation that have different recipes, and that green, just a little history of the green sauce. I was out in Oregon, and I've been looking for a second recipe for alligator. I've had the I call it a redneck lobster roll, where you do the boudin, cream cheese, ranch dressing, stuffing. Well, I'd been developing this taco, and I knew I had the slaw down.
Yep.
You know, it's the lime-cilantro pineapple slaw, and I had the alligator with the chorizo down. And when I came across that green sauce, it was a team that I sponsor was out there, and they were making tacos as vending. And you know, I hit that green sauce, and I was like, oh, that's
it.
That's going to seal the deal right there. That's the game changer. So yeah, it goes and pairs well with it, and
it does.
You grill the duck medium rare,
yep.
And you can use I used the LC barbecue fade in black, which is a charcoal activated seasoning, and it's really, really good. It's garlicky, and it's got the onion powder. Yeah, it's just got a lot of good stuff. This really good on red meat, and sliced it thin. The lime, cilantro, pineapple slaw, and then that green sauce, which is a guacamole jalapeno. But that green sauce, it gives it that vinegar pop, and
it brings some
really
brightness to it. Yeah.
And so that it's one of those you could put chicken on it. And matter of fact, I was at camp this weekend and I had some smoked turkey.
Yeah.
And I made the taco same way with smoked turkey. And it's just so versatile. It really is.
Oh, I mean, and the cool thing about that whole dish is, and any kind of taco, is like you can put a little of your own spin on it. So if you're listening to this and that sounds good, but maybe you don't want it so spicy, you don't want the jalapenos, you could probably throw some poblanos in there, or you could do a tamed jalapeno or something. You could take that down a lot. If you do want the heat, you can take the heat up.
That's what I find more and more, that people want it hotter, And of course, you could slice fresh jalapeno and put on there, leave the seeds, get that heat level really up there. So, but it's just like you said, where you want to go with it.
That's it. You could change the slaw a little if you wanted to. You could add a little bit of cheese, maybe some queso fresco, something like that on there. But it didn't need any of that. Just so y'all know,
No.
give it a try. That thing was good.
The only way you really could mess it up is not eat it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a fact. Anything else on that dish that y'all want to kind of talk through? That
And we did a street taco.
That's
which you can do a regular sized taco.
Right.
You can or you can wrap that dude up, burrito it.
Make it a burrito.
That's it.
Throw some beans in there.
You could do a little fine chopped up cilantro and white onion or yellow onion. Just chop it up and sprinkle that on there, and that'd be really good too. That goes good with duck. Duck's rich.
Yeah.
Right. And so that anything like that brings that brightness and freshness to us can really elevate that duck flavor. The second dish we did was the duck and pasta, which, man, the panko-crusted duck was amazing. It was really good, and it took you like 3 minutes to get that thing like ready to go in the pan. You pounded that duck breast out flat to make it a little more tender, spread it out a little bit, make it cook more even, I'm assuming.
That and it just to get that good coverage of that panko, so you get good crunch.
That's it.
Each bite, and as you saw, and as they'll see on the video, it was very easy. Walking through the store, you got pastaroni, and that pastaroni, all you do is add water.
That's it.
And so how easy can it be? And so. Yeah, and to have that texture of the pasta that's a little softer with the crunch of the duck panko, and I knew it was good, but I was a little surprised it was that good.
It was real good.
Really good.
The pastaroni you got was a pretty simple. It was olive oil and garlic or something like that.
Yeah, garlic and olive oil.
So you didn't take that recipe too crazy with flavors, but it went really well.
And if you're in the store, that section. I mean, Uncle Ben's has all kinds of rice stuff.
That would be great.
You can just do rice, serve it over pasta, and put it in the microwave for 60 seconds or 90 seconds or something, and you got a meal.
That's it
with the rice or pasta. So very easy.
Yeah, very easy, and it really had a very with that panko crust and everything. It's very Italian flavoring to that, right? It just really, that crunch mixture with the pasta is outstanding.
And there again, it's versatile.
It screamed, like tasting it, I was like, oh, I want to do like a duck parm.
Yeah.
With this,
That's
like red sauce on it with some cheese and melt that thing off.
Yeah.
The big thing, like if you're going to do that, be careful not to overcook it in the shallow fry if you're going to melt something over the top of it. So just to be aware of your temperature and how long you're cooking.
And versatility there again. I mean, you can pound out a chicken breast, you can pound out a pork loin, you can pound out
deer steak.
Deer steak.
Yeah.
but I think the best way is with duck. But
Duck was it was good. It was real good. And we're not sponsored by Kinder's, but I think that was a Kinder's Panko.
It was
breadcrumbs, and those were pretty good.
They are?
Just to let you know,
and
and pretty easy to find.
Right, and there again,
So-
they have different flavors of breadcrumbs, so
That's it.
you could go some different routes with that,
Yep.
or just get regular breadcrumbs and
Make it
season
your
them
own.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah, excellent. And the third one was what you would really think about as a Southern inspired dish, right? With the grits.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, shrimp and grits is as Southern as it gets, and this was just a spin-off of that, using the protein. The duck has protein, and medium rare again. Make sure you get that thing cooked right. And we spiced it with some good rubs. I think we did the LC with that also.
Yep. I think you did use a little Cajun on one of those too.
Did use them
Yep.
out.
That
Thank
was
you
it.
for bringing that back to me. It's been a few minutes, but yeah, the King Crawl
That was
with
good.
Malcolm Reed, and but yeah, how hard is getting a little bit of
Everybody.
instant grits?
That's it.
Hot water grits.
Yep.
Boom, and then cut up the duck.
And it came together, and you used like 3 packets of grits for that. 2 of them were just regular plain grits or butter, and the other one was a bacon.
Yeah, it was a country style bacon.
Country style bacon grits, and that pulled all those flavors together really well. I mean, those are things that like we have at duck camp a lot of times. I'll have some grits around there for cooking for breakfast or something, instant grits, and then you got duck, and you definitely got Cajun seasoning. I don't know a duck camp that doesn't have a can of some form of Cajun seasoning.
Yeah, exactly.
laying around,
and it is
so.
fun a lot of times, if you do have the duck protein, to go to the pantry, open it up, see what you got. I mean, if you got just regular spaghetti noodles, well, chances are you got butter in the refrigerator, you got garlic in the refrigerator, and
it.
you can make a form of that dish, with that, or
Right.
So yeah, it's just. I don't know. I get a lot of fun out of
It
just,
was good.
going and
Iron
creating
Chef
something
in
easy.
it.
Well, I did chop Grill
in a way.
Masters, so I did the chop
There
basket
you
one
go.
time. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun until I had a vegan lobster in my basket.
Yeah, that was
That's not
Craig's
your
downfall.
specialty. That's not your
The
specialty.
vegan lobster.
So now I'm known for the vegan lobster and the chop basket. So, but I'm from Mississippi. We don't have too many of those vegan lobsters running around here.
I hear you.
Yeah. So it kind of stumped me a little bit. But
Well, we'll stick with what's in your wheelhouse. Duck seems to be in your wheelhouse. One of the things that I thought was really great about these recipes, they were simple, easy. You can find the ingredients easy. All of them you can actually elevate, though, too. You can take the basic things that we did and you showed us, and you could take them up a notch.
Well, that it doesn't have to be hard. We said that in the very beginning, and there's so many things out there that make cooking at home easy.
That's it.
And you just need to add the protein to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be the ramen noodles or something like that. And I mean, you told me a great dish you got.
That's one of my favorite ways to eat leftover grilled duck is to actually go in, because if you reheat grilled duck, it can get rubbery, right? And that's one of the issues.
Yeah.
And that's not great. But if you make a good bowl of ramen, and don't use the cheap packets. You can, but you can make it better, I promise. And it's not hard to do. Add some fresh veggies or even just frozen stir-fry veggies to it. Mix that in the broth. And then take that sliced duck, grilled duck, and just lay it across the top. Let that warm broth heat it up. It'll be perfect almost every time.
That sounds good.
It does sound good.
I was a broke college kid and grad student. I was a wildlife student and doing my work. And you found ways to make wild game and stuff taste good. Off of a very, very thin budget. Ramen noodles was a way to do that.
I tell you, as expensive as grocery store proteins and meats are now.
Everything.
The taking advantage of what we harvest, be it duck, deer, or any other wild game, pheasant, or and turning that into food for our families and putting on the table, it becomes more and more important,
It does.
And knowing, what's out there as far as recipes and different ways of doing things, but easy way of doing things too. Don't be intimidated.
That's it.
That's
it.
And that's another another saying I've got. I say the wrong way to cook is if you don't do it at all.
Right.
Gotta
try it. You're going to mess it up every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But you'll learn.
You will. You will. And I tell you, you guys in making the effort to show the people out there the way, there are different ways to cook stuff. And I mean, I appreciate what you guys do as far as, the conservation part of Ducks Unlimited and making sure that these birds are, have healthy habitat, all the way from the prairie up in Canada up to down all the way to here. And that way, when you do harvest that bird, it's been well treated, and it's been it's a healthy bird, and therefore it's good food for your family's table.
You can take pride in that, right? One, you've got that connection with, you went out and you supplied that protein, but you also, when you're eating wild game that you harvested, you've got a different connection with that meal than you did with the packaged chicken you bought from the grocery store, right? A little more work went into it, but it also, the backstory, from field to table, the whole processing and all that, so I enjoy that. And the way that you made those recipes so approachable, that's something that someone can cook any of those, serve it to a friend, have people over, and they're going to like those dishes, right? That's something that they taste amazing. They're not super complicated. It's a good way to get people started in cooking wild game too. Or if you're just, bacheloring it up at duck camp and want something easy that's delicious, that's another good thing for that.
And I did some other recipes that'll be out on DU Nation.
That's correct.
At the Spread Oaks Ranch. You want to mention more of that?
Well, one that I really enjoyed, Craig, was the egg rolls.
Yeah.
That you did, right? And I mean, I think, and duck lends itself well to Asian fusion.
It does. Big time. Those flavors go well.
Yeah. And that was another pretty easy one. I mean, it gets a little involved rolling an egg roll, but, I used a slaw, but all I did, there's it's called miso nadi. It's a miso Japanese barbecue sauce that Meat Mitch, a buddy of mine, makes, and did a slaw with that miso, and then had the sliced duck, and I egg rolled it, fried it, dip it back in a little of that miso, and man, it turned out really good. So.
It did. It's and once again, it was real simple, and it like it doesn't have to be complicated whatsoever.
No, it's like we said, I think sometimes that intimidation factor, initially of saying, you look at that and go, this is deer, I've never cooked deer, or this is duck, I've never cooked duck. But what you got to think is this is just a red meat protein.
It's a super lean red meat protein. Yeah. So you got to remember that. So you got to be careful on how you cook it sometimes. But
right.
I think a lot of people's bad experiences with duck involve overcooking. I mean, almost to a person, right? They had a bad first time, and then they just never ate it again.
It comes down to a duck popper, generally. And once you get the bacon crisp on a duck popper,
it's overcooked.
The duck is generally a meteorite on the inside.
Right. Well, if you get that good, really, really hot roll oak lump charcoal, and you get it good and screaming hot,
that's it.
And you hit it, and you let
that's it.
Bacon sear really fast and get it off.
But you need a hot grill. Most people, especially if you're trying to do it on a gas grill or something like that, the grill's not going to get hot enough. I said a gas grill. We use multiple cooking systems on here. I know you don't. But you can get a charcoal, like if you get a green egg, even a Weber kettle, you can get those things screaming hot.
Yeah.
And that's where if you're wanting to sear something and get it quick, that's about the only way you can do it.
But like John said, they have had it and it's been overcooked and it gets that gamey in there. And you got to give things more than one opportunity. A lot of times you eat it that first time and it's like, it wasn't that good. Give it, and that goes with anything,
Right.
I'll give most everything a second chance or a third chance just to know that may just been a bad experience or a bad, cook or something and try it again. But don't be intimidated by it.
No, and kind of some of my rule of thumb on duck is if you're going to do something more grilled and you're not going to try and cook it to death, there's two ways to cook duck. You either cook it medium rare, not past medium, or you crock pot it, basically.
Right.
Shred it, and it makes a super rich, like roast-like flavor. So you can do that, and that's fantastic. But if you're not going to go to that route, if you're trying to grill it or something like that, if you want to give yourself a little forgiveness in the doneness, I brine mine. just a basic turkey brine, 6 hours, 4 hours to overnight. And it'll give you a little forgiveness on that doneness level and keep you from overcooking it a little bit. That's just a trick that I do. And that's something I've shared with Malcolm when we had him on and talked about it. And you can also add a little bit of brown sugar in that brine, a little sweetness, and that pairs really well with duck.
I did watch that, and I did notice that. So sounds
another thing too that I've always done that I was taught it early on, especially with geese, was because it's such rich red meat. Is I like to bring the blood out of it. Right, and you've got to really soak that in water with a little salt or whatever for multiple days. Really, you can do it. Keep changing the water out, and that makes a massive difference in ducks and geese.
If you're adding salt to it, you're basically doing a little light brine over time, so it'll help them actually hold moisture.
And I do that every time I put up duck or geese or something. I mean, I think we talked about it as far as putting up any wild game. I'm gonna do everything on the front. Right. I'm going to have it trimmed. I'm going to have it soaked. So when it comes out of that freezer and it's thawed out,
it's ready to
go. Yeah. It's ready to cook.
And one other thing on that, too, that I'll bring up is, like snow geese get a bad rap and stuff like that. But a lot of it comes down to handling the birds after hunt. If you've got a pile of 50 snow geese, it may take a little bit to get to the bottom of that pile. And sometimes things can get a little awry. So get your birds, clean them pretty quick. Get them good and clean before you pack them up, and they'll be much better table fare if you spend a little time there. And then also, I like to pluck the breast on mine. If it's a mallard or a speck or something like that, I'll pluck all the feathers off the breast and breast out the skin and fat.
You love a spoon, too.
I do, love one. Dude. But you know what I like most about a shoveler is they make me look like a really good shot.
Oh, well, you aim for the beak, man. That's all you got to do.
It. Hey, it's a blue wing with some with a goofy beak.
That's right.
Don't get me wrong. I will not hold back if a wad of shovelers comes through the decoys. But
I've seen this guy pop a blackjack or two.
Man, I'm a fan. We had one season, Jared, down there in the Delta that particular lake we've got, Smith Lake. Man, it was the ringnecks were just eating it up to pieces, and so we had a blast. And a ringneck is a really good table fare. They're a little tougher to clean, but you get beyond that.
That's it.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah. Well, you say the same for wood ducks.
They are.
Right?
That's one of the reasons I actually will pluck some of my ducks is because wood ducks are such a pain to breast out, to peel back because that skin will always stick. So I'll breast them out like that, and then we use propane torch, that flame saber. Is perfect for that. It's a little propane torch. You can get all them little pin hairs off, or pin feathers off, right, and make that a much more presentable dish. If you've got your little fill of plumes or feathers sticking off the duck, sometimes your guests aren't as big a fan of that.
I love and eat good eating wood duck.
Me too,
man.
They can get fatty and delicious.
Yeah.
So there's lots of great ideas here. What other things would you say would be just might come to mind, that things that you might be able to try at duck camp that probably fall into this category?
Of course, at our duck camp, and I mentioned this on Malcolm's podcast, Buck Junkie, that we have a Friday tradition there. This is not wild game, but we have a pork steak Friday every Friday. And there's a Stop and Shop right in Hollandale, Mississippi that has fresh cut, probably quarter-inch pork steaks, and we got a guy at our camp that Edward Kosman that cooks them on Friday night, and he does them any way you can imagine a pork steak being cooked. It's kind of like the Bubba Gump shrimp thing.
You got it that way.
You can roll through it with a pork steak, like you said, pork steak piccata, pork steak parmesan. He does an Asian sweet sour pork steak. We've done pork steak po' boys. We do grilled pork steaks, fried pork steaks. And that's just a good hunting camp Friday night tradition. We don't ever have to worry about what we're going to have on Friday night. We're going to have pork steaks.
And most time you can cook a pork steak pretty quickly too. So if you get into camp a little later, you're not waiting on
that quarter-inch pork steak,
a smoker to
do
its thing.
But we do the backstrap wrapped in bacon, kind of do some of that as appetizers. We're big. We have a lot of boudin. We eat a lot of boudin at my camp.
I do it. Yeah.
We love that. And, and love different kinds of sausages, deer sausages. And I've got a buddy in Texas that brings me a cooler full of these different kinds of venison sausage that's made in Texas.
That's awesome.
And we just kind of throughout the season, have a bunch of those.
There's a place here in Memphis that does a fantastic wild hog boudin processor here, and so
I need to know.
There's another one that
hit it up,
that does a
good too.
fantastic waterfowl tamale.
We didn't even talk about that, but if you're going to cook things to death, like if you're going to take it to that roast, if you take that and do like some chipotles in a crock pot, and then take that and make tamales out of it. It's another one thing, kind of the egg roll, though. It takes a little while to wrap it and make it. So get some buddies over, have a good time, hang out. It's half the fun making them together, and then freeze a bunch because it takes a while to make, but they're good.
Man, there's a dish. I need to mention this one because I used to go duck hunting in Arkansas with a guy, Big Jim McGaw, and his wife.
Smaller Jim these days.
Yeah. I call him more medium Jim. He's doing flooring, so he's got to be down. He's had to lose a bit of weight, but I was going over there, and every winter for 7, 8 years, I'd go duck hunt with him. His wife, Melissa, she's Italian, Peroni's her name, and she used to do a putaki.
Okay.
And what she would do is we'd pluck probably 6 mallards, and the other ducks we would cut the legs off of. So I've got that ball of meat on the end of that leg, and then we'd strip out some breasts of a gawal or another duck, and she'd start off with like chicken broth, and she'd put in a big iron pot, and she'd cut quarter onions, put in there, and she'd put whole garlic cloves in there, and also the chicken broth, and she'd boil that down through the day, and until the duck was falling off the butt, and then she'd pick all that duck off, and then she'd shred it. But then at the very end, she would add red wine and rosemary.
Rosemary and duck plays well together.
So, for the last couple of hours, because, rosemary can get a little powerful.
It can.
She was, of course, she had it down and knew exactly how much and all that. So that red wine with that rosemary and the garlic, and because she'd boil it long enough, that garlic would just, it just liquefy. And so would the onion, and then serve that over rice. It was,
that's good.
Yeah, it was unreal, and that was just one of those things that I'd like get there I'll make you sawmill gravy if you make the putaki.
Yeah, exactly.
I was kind of bartering with them.
Anything I can do.
That's something else we're gonna have to do on DU Nation, Craig. We need to do a crappie video, but we need to include the sawmill gravy cooking in that episode, because I tell you, folks, I don't know. There's no other gravy like that in the world.
Well, that's just my dad used to do that growing up. It was a Sunday tradition. He'd fry bacon and do the sausage, the hot sausage, and make that sausage gravy with the bacon and I do it most every Sunday at hunting camp because long weekend. I always say it's a good thing. It'll patch a leaking boat. 'Cause by Sunday at hunting camp, you're leaking a little bit. You need to patch that boat. So. And those biscuits and gravy or toast and gravy it'll put a patch on there.
Take you where you need to go.
Yeah, it's good. One of his favorites, obviously. I mean,
sounds like it. I've actually made breakfast sausage from duck before, grind it and stuff. But I think we could sit here.
Did you do that, or you had sausage made? With
I had sausage made with
that
was back in the day with a bunch of snows. That was unbelievable. That was Big Pete, man.
Big Pete. Man, rest his soul.
Rest his soul.
Yeah. But the breakfast sausage.
And I've done chorizo too. Both of them are fantastic. Especially if you leave that fat on them, you can always add some pork fat back to it too. But duck grind's real easy because there's not a lot of connective tissue in it. So duck and goose and all that. So I've done a lot of stuff. Grind it up, make taco meat or sausage or make andouille. Makes good andouille.
Oh.
Nice. Well, with what I do for a living, I'm always around these competition cooks, and they trim a lot of pork fat off, a lot of brisket fat off. So all of my venison, I grind with brisket fat.
Do you?
And it's usually Wagyu brisket fat. It's good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah. And so, to what you're talking about, I need to incorporate some of that in.
Duck fat's good, man. It's real good. And I grind like all my stuff, like especially deer and things like that, but I won't add fat to it when I grind it because some of my recipes I don't like to add fat back to. But depending upon what recipe I'm making, I'll add fat at that point. I may make a second grind or something like that with it and add fat in because sometimes it needs it. But I think we could sit here and talk recipes all day, and I don't think we need to. I know, Craig, you need to get back on the road, but I got to definitely thank John for joining as a co-host today.
I used to be a regular host, but they bring me back in, kind of like Al Pacino in The Godfather, right?
Bring you back in, can't get rid of you. I don't know.
They bring me back in. I mean, that's where I'm at.
So, and we got to definitely thank Craig Verhage, our special guest today. You brought us some really great recipes, things that were super approachable, super tasty. I hope y'all will take advantage of this, try some of these recipes at camp or in your backyard. Let us know in the comments and about what you think, ideas on how to improve them or make them your own. Just let us know. But Craig, thank you so much for coming out and going cooking with us.
Yeah, look, you guys, man, that was so much fun, and love to do it again. Hope we do it again.
I would love to, yeah.
And, for the folks out there, if y'all want to follow me along for what I do, because I put a lot of hunting, a lot of recipes. I'm at the BBQ Ninja on Instagram, on TikTok, and I'm at the _BBQ _Ninja on Twitter or X, excuse me. And and on Facebook at the BBQ Ninja. Okay. So get out there and follow me and let's have some fun.
Yeah, y'all go check out Craig's content. It's great. It's approachable. He's got a bunch of people he cooks with all the time. Incredible skill set that you can learn from just watching those videos. So yeah, thank you again. I got to thank Chris, our producer back here hiding behind the computer, for pulling all this stuff together, and Landon, who filmed a whole bunch of this episode. So got to close with thank you for checking out this episode. Stay tuned for more content from the Ducks Unlimited podcast.
Thank you for listening to the DU Podcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan, the official performance dog food of Ducks Unlimited. Purina Pro Plan, always advancing. Also proudly sponsored by Bird Dog Whiskey and Cocktails. Whether you're winding down with your best friend or celebrating with your favorite crew, Bird Dog brings award-winning flavor to every moment. Enjoy responsibly. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit ducks.org/DU Podcast. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of Ducks Unlimited. Until next time, stay tuned to the Ducks.